jest tutaj to, że Próba, kanał angielski. Próba, kanał angielski. Kanał angielski. Próba, kanał angielski. Kanał angielski. Kanał angielski. Angielski. Jeszcze raz. Próba, kanał angielski. Próba, kanał angielski. Kanał angielski.
Proszę wszystkich o powstanie.
Please
Po wejściu na szaku
rise.
rektorskiego odśpiewamy hymn
After
Polski
the
i
entrance
hymn
of the
Unii
rector's
Europejskiej.
procession, we will sing
Please
the
rise
Polish
from your
national
seats.
anthem
After the rector's procession
and the
enters, we will
anthem
sing
of the
the
European
Polish
Union.
national anthem and European Union anthem.
Jeszcze Polska nie zginęła, kiedy my żyjemy. Co nam obca przemoc wzięła, szablą odbierzemy. Marsz, marsz Dąbrowski, z ziemi wolskiej do Polski. Za twoim przewodem złączę się z narodem. Marsz, marsz Dąbrowski, z ziemi wolskiej do Polski. Za twoim przewodem złączę się z narodem. Joyful, joyful, we'll adore thee, God of glory, Lord of love. Hearts unfold like flowers before thee, opening to the sun above. Let the clouds of sin and sadness drive the dark of doubt away. Giver of immortal gladness, fill us with the light of day. Let the clouds of sin and sadness drive the dark of doubt away. Giver of immortal gladness, fill us with the light of day.
Dziękuję bardzo. Szanowni
Thank
Państwo,
you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hereby opening the inauguration ceremony of the academic year 2024-2025.
bardzo proszę o zajęcie.
Please take your seats.
Dziękujemy bardzo.
Thank you.
Proszę o zabranie głosu na kwintesencję rektora, profesora Grzegorza Mazurka.
He's magnificent.
Szanowni Państwo, to
Ladies and
już
gentlemen,
5. raz, ale każdy
it's now
raz
the
jest ten
fifth
pierwszy.
time, but every
Niezmiernie
time
cieszę
is
się,
like the
że
first time,
mogę
and I'm
otworzyć tą
really
wspaniałą
happy that
uroczystość.
I can
Niezmiernie cieszę
open
się, że jest tak
this
wielu
great
przyjaciół i
ceremony, and I'm
przyjaciółek
glad that
Akademii
there are
Leona
so many
Kozminskiego.
friends of the Kozminski University here. Let me welcome very warmly, first of all, the students of the first year of study here at our Kozminski University. Give them the round of applause.
Serdecznie witam wszystkich.
Warm welcome to all those present here. Let me also welcome people gathered online at their screens so that they can take part in the ceremony via internet streaming. I would like to ask you for a great round of applause for one fantastic figure person, Professor Andrzej Krzysztof Kozminski, the co-founder of our university, a professor of our university, professor honoris causa of the University of Warsaw, University of Szczecin, ESCP Business School. Our leader, Andrzej, welcome. Many of us here, a lot of fantastic guests have come here, and my role will be now to welcome all of you using your names. So please gather strength to clap your hands, to give applause, but we will try to make it in an effective manner. So I'd like to welcome the Prime Minister, Minister of Digitalization, Mr. Krzysztof Gawkowski, Minister Barbara Nowacka, Minister of National Education. Mariusz Frankowski, Governor of the Mazovia region. Minister Agnieszka Majewska, spokesman for small and medium enterprises. Ms. Marta Niżałowska-Pactwa, Director General at the Ministry of Finance. Renata Kaznowska, Vice President of the Vice Mayor of the City of Warsaw. Please, great round of applause for her. Gabriela Szustek, the Mayor of Praga Północ District, our district. I'd like to welcome Marcin Dąbrowski, the Chairman of the Council of the district, and Mr. Jan Rembelski, the spokesman of the district of Praga Północ. The diplomatic corps is today represented by His Excellency Fabrice Fillier, Ambassador of Switzerland, and Luis Gonzalo Thier-Zapalo, Chargé d'Affaires of the Peruvian Embassy here in Poland. Let me now very warmly welcome my colleagues representing the universities and higher schools. Please withhold your round of applause until I ask you to give it. So, Professor Andras Altman, Rector of MCI in Innsbruck Entrepreneur School. Professor Krzysztof Filipiak, Rector of the Medical Sciences School of Maria Skłodowska-Curie. Professor Barbara Jankowska, Rector of the Poznan University of Economics. Professor Leon Lalusa, Executive President and Dean of ESCP Business School. Professor Bartosz Molik, Rector of the Academy of Physical Education in Warsaw. Professor Janusz Mrowiec, Rector of the Academy of Technology and Arts. Professor Alojzy Nowak, Rector of the University of Warsaw. Reverend Professor Krzysztof Pawlina, Rector of the Catholic Academy in Warsaw. Professor Jörg Rochel, President of ES&T in Berlin, President of the Steering Committee of GNAM. Professor Maciej Rogalski, Rector of Łazarski University. Professor Piotr Wachowiak, Rector of the Warsaw School of Economics and the head of the Conference of Rectors of Warsaw Universities. Our great friend. Warm welcome to Professor Michał Zasada, Rector of the University of Life Sciences, IF Warsaw. Ladies and gentlemen, now I'd like to ask you for the round of applause. There are also with us pro-rectors and presidents and deans of universities, both from Warsaw and from other cities in Poland. Professor Aleksandra Wójcik, Vice Rector for Science at SWPS University. Professor Marcin Gołębiewski, Vice Rector for Development of the Warsaw University of Life Sciences. Colonel Professor Dariusz Majchrzak, Pro-Rector for Military Affairs at the Academy of Military Arts. Reverend Dariusz Rosłoń, Pro-Rector for Propedeutic Year of the Higher Theological Seminary of the Warsaw-Praga Diocese. Professor Sebastian Sikorski, Pro-Rector for Promotion and Cooperation with the Environment of the Cardinal Stefan Wyszyński University. Professor Marcin Staniewski, Vice Rector for Science at the Academy of Economics and Humanities in Warsaw. Reverend Dr. Marcin Szczerbiński, Vice Rector for Science of the Catholic Academy in Warsaw. Professor Michał Szostak, Pro-Rector for Scientific Affairs of Collegium Civitas. Professor Monika Szyłkowska, Pro-Rector for Student Affairs at the Military University of Technology. Professor Danuta Umyga, Pro-Rector for Development and Cooperation with the Environment of Maria Grzegorzewska Academy of Special Education. Professor Renata Walczak, Deputy Rector for the Płock branch of the Warsaw University of Technology. Professor Andrzej Wierzbicki, Vice Rector for Development of Polish-Japanese Academy of Information Technology. Katowice, Professor Robert Wolny, Pro-Rector for Development and Cooperation with the Environment of the University of Economics in Katowice. Professor Tadeusz Zieliński, Pro-Rector for Scientific Affairs, Affairs of the Christian Theological Academy. Professor Deans, Professor Grzegorz Karasiewicz, Dean of the Faculty of Management at the University of Warsaw. Good morning, Professor. Madam Dean of the Faculty of Business of the Academy of Economics and Humanities in Warsaw, Ms. Barbara Sypniewska, Professor Beata Zatwardnicka-Madura, Dean of the Faculty of Management at Rzeszów University of Technology. A round of applause for the above mentioned. Now, going a little bit ahead in our ceremony, one of the key elements is to celebrate the fact that our university received the status of the European University. And now I wanted to welcome all the guests who have come here from Europe. Wilte Auruskiewiczienie, Vice President for Studies, ISM. I will let you know where the applause is due. Alessandro Faccini, Professor of SUSPI. Giuro Niavro, President of the Board of Trustees, Zagreb School of Economics and Management. Helmi Issa, Principal Contributor to EU On Air, ESSCA. Juan Francisco Jimenez Jacinto, Director of the Communication Department, Abad Oliba, CEU University. Dr. Dubravka Kovacevic, Associate in the International Office, Zagreb School of Economics and Management. Klaus Lange, Head of International Office, HTW Berlin. Silke Leukfeld, Research Valorization Officer at ESCA. And Lisa Lipińska, Head of Project Office at Piatek, Polish-Japanese Academy of Computer Technology. Marin Niavro, Managing Director of Luxembourg School of Business. Goran Oblakowicz, Vice Dean, Zagreb School of Economics and Management. Jan Tronk, Professor of Digital Management and the Director of MSc and International Programs at ESCA. And once again, Professor Adam Wierzbicki, Vice Chancellor of Polish-Japanese Academy of Computer Technologies, which is a member of the consortium with which we implement one of our projects. Great. Welcome. And now let me welcome representatives of the ministries, government and local government administration. Jolanta Koczorowska, Mayor of Praga Północ in the years 2007-2010. Mr. Antoni Kolek, Deputy Director of the Institute of Finance. Pamela Krzypkowska, Director of the Department of Research and Innovation at the Ministry of Digitalization. Ms. Dorota Łoboda, Member of the Parliament of the Republic of Poland. Ryszard Łuczyn, Deputy Director of the Department of Projects and Strategies at the Ministry of Digitalization. Dorota Olko, MP of the Republic of Poland. Grzegorz Napieralski, Member of the Parliament of the Republic of Poland. Beata Pawlińska-Wiak, Director of the second branch of ZUS, a social insurance institution in Warsaw. Izabela Stelmańska, Deputy Director of the Department of Culture, Promotion and Tourism of the Marshal's Office of the Mazowieckie Voivodeship in Warsaw. A round of applause is due now. So we are halfway through now. Ladies and gentlemen, let me very warmly welcome Mr. Paweł Jarski, founder and CEO of the Elemental Group. Mr. Sylwester Pruczeń, Head of Communications at the Elemental Group. Warm welcome to Robert Dobrzycki, the CEO and co-owner of Patronage in Europe, India and Saudi Arabia. Mr. Marek Foryński, Managing Director of BTS Group Poland. Malwina Pawłowska, Business Strategy Director. Anita Pietrykowska, Head of Marketing and Communications Europe, the representatives of Patronage. And now I am now mentioning the strategic partners of our university. And the other parts, our strategic partner is Ernst & Young, Piotr Lenarczyk, Employer Branding Manager. Now, Małgorzata Sztabińska, HR Director at Ergo Hestia, and our fourth strategic partner is represented today by Iwona Jarzemska, the CEO of the Bank Millennium Foundation, and Ms. Monika Jędrysek from the HR department. Team for recruitment and onboarding. I also welcome representatives of our supporting partner, Seris Consultant, Ms. Marlena Brzezek, PR and Communication Manager, and Mr. Tomasz Piszczyński, Senior Product Manager. Before applause, I would also like to welcome the individual donors, that is, people who just have confidence in the idea of building a strong educational institution in this part of Europe with the use of this particular model. So let me now welcome Piotr Arendt, Janusz Chajęcki, Tomasz Górnicki, Dariusz Kopyt, Piotr Kumięga, Jacek Olszewski, Piotr Mierzejewski, Włodzimierz Szymczak, and all those other donors who didn't want their names to be mentioned here. I'd like to very warmly welcome all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, Kozminski University is a business school, so I wanted to welcome and mention here other very important people for us. First of all, Marcin Animucki, CEO of Ekstraklasa, Ms. Dominika Beckman, General Manager of Microsoft, Professor Zbigniew Dworzecki, Vice President of the National Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Andrzej Jacaszek, CEO of ICANN Institute, Mr. Michał Kanownik, President of the Board of the Digital Poland Association, Jacek Komaracki, President and co-owner of the GIVT technology platform. GIFT, maybe that's how we should pronounce it. Piotr Kozina, President of the Management Board of PSB Handel Group. Piotr, I know you are here with us, yes. I know because there is another ceremony that we will attend. Ms. Maria Krawczyńska-Kaczmarek, President of the Board of Directors of the Responsible Business Forum. Jacek Leczkowski, Vice President of the Management Board of Airbud S.A. Arkadiusz Mastalerek, member of the Management Board of Xelion Dom Inwestycyjny. Mr. Janusz Biechociński, president of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce Poland Asia, and the Vice Prime Minister in the years 2012-2015. Mr. Waldemar Rogujski, President of the Management Board of Coop Tech Bio Spółka z o.o. Mr. Waldemar Siwiński, President, Founder of the Perspektywy Educational Foundation. Mr. Jarosław Sroka, Member of the Management Board of Kulczyk Investments. Andrzej Zarajczyk, President of the Board, CEO Polmont Holding, Member of the board, ALK Board of Trustees. Mr. Karol Zarajczyk, President of the Management Board of Polmont Rail, and Mateusz Zarajczyk, Member of the Management Board, Polmont Auto S.A. Maciej Witucki, President of the Leviathan Confederation. Joanna and Andrzej Wodzeński, owners of Tubondzin Group. Welcome. And last but not least, let us all welcome Mr. Piotr Dmachowski, Deputy CEO of PZU.
Chciałbym serdecznie
I wanted to welcome. No, I'm not done yet. I've got a whole list, but yes, indeed, my colleagues here remind me to welcome Professor Agnieszka Grzelak, Deputy President of the Office for the Protection of Personal Data, and I can also see Mr. Krzysztof Pietraszkiewicz here in the room. Welcome. Mr. Pietraszkiewicz was for many years at the head of the Association of Polish Banks, great friend of our university. Katarzyna Czarnecka, Recruitment and Development Manager at Television Polsat. Paweł Jaczewski, Business Account Manager at MT Business. Mateusz Górecki, Chief Executive Officer at Teen Crunch Foundation. Krystian Kamek, Partner and Managing Director of Kearney in Warsaw. Mr. Hubert Kosiński, Director of the Development Program Management Department. Rafał Kostkiewicz, Director of Client Investments Dom Inwestycyjny Xelion. Magda Kotowska-Gawrylczyk, Digital X-Ops CEO Optimization Lead. Yeah, that's a long title. Michał Majewski, Chief Operating Officer of the Association of the Jewish Historical Institute. Magda Oleksiuk, Managing Director, CFA Society, Poland. Medical Professor Robert Olszewski, Head of the Department of Gerontology, Public Health and Didactics. Ms. Agnieszka Radwan, Director of the Department of Human Capital Management at Totalizator Sportowy. Magdalena Sidorowicz, Director of Sales and Marketing at Arche. Wojciech Stasieczek, Director of the Toruń Branch of Airbud S.A. Anna Barzyńska, Insights Solutions Manager, PI Poland Lead. Dr. Artur Zaczyński, Head of the Department of Neurosurgery at the National Medical Institute of the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Administration in Warsaw. Ms. Joanna Zakrzewska, Director of the Communication and Marketing Department at PGNiG, PGNiG. Okay, we're slowly getting there. Ms. Elżbieta Adamska-Śmigrocka, Chairwoman of the Council of the Chamber of the Judicial Officers in Warsaw. Dr. Iwona Biernat-Baran, Member of the National Council of Tax Advisor and Chairwoman of the Editorial Board of KIDP Publishers. Mr. Przemysław Rosati, President of the Supreme Bar Council. Ms. Tamara Żurakowska, Member of the Council, Deputy President of the Notary Chamber in Warsaw. Mr. Tomasz Pieczyk, Legal Advisor, Co-founder and Managing Partner of SKP Ślusarek Kubiak Pieczyk Law Firm. Ms. Magdalena Przybylska, a notary firm, Anna Kontunia-Kotylda-Przybylska. These were the representatives of the legal environment.
Niezwykle cieszy mnie również.
I'm delighted to see among us representatives of the educational sector, may I therefore welcome Dr. Anna Banaszewska, Head of Postgraduate Studies in Pharmaceutical Law for Business at the Center for Consultancy and Management Education. With us today is Mr. Jan Bartkowiak, founder of eConverse, Paula Buszewska, Madam President of the Board of Directors of Zwolnieni z Teorii Foundation. May I welcome Aleksandra, President of the Board of the Wawa Education Association. Maybe I should go immediately to Joanna Kołakowska, Deputy Director, Wawerska Realna School. May I also welcome Karolina Mielczyk of the Nowy Sącz Education Center. Campus AI leader, Janusz Gronsky, head of the Kierunkowska's Foundation, Joanna Kołakowska, I've already covered this. Professor Alberto Lozano, who represents the University of Szczecin, member of the Board of Trustees of ALK. May I also welcome Mrs. Karolina Mielczyk, Director of the Warsaw Center for Educational and Social Innovation and Training, Marcin Paprzycki, member of the Presidium of the Board of Directors of the Polish Informatics Societies. I would like to welcome Mrs. Anna Pinhinet-Miernik, Education Partnerships Manager, ACCA. I would like to welcome Mr. Kamil Tomkowicz, member of the Board of Our Future Foundation. Most cordially, may I welcome Professor Jerzy Woźnicki, a great friend of our university, President of the Polish Rectors Foundation and Director of the Institute for Knowledge Society. And may I welcome Mrs. Małgorzata Zdunek, Director of the Office of the Polish Accreditation Committee, Reverend Dr. Maciej Miętek, Chancellor of the Warsaw Praga Curia, Reverend Monsignor Leszek Slipek, member of the ALK Board of Trustees. Hello, good morning. Marlena Janota, member of the Board of Polsif, Marcin Rosiński, Treasurer of the Polish Home Army Global Association, Mrs. Jarzynka from NatWest Poland, Paweł Paszkowski, Public Sector Digitization Expert from Dell Technologies, Wojciech Perret, winner of the Kozminski Lion in the manager category in 2019, and Marta Wruber, Philanthropy and Fundraising Advisor. So this is the last round of applause. Please, let's welcome all these individuals. I said it at the beginning, but I would like to warmly ask you for another round of applause for the students of the Kozminski University who are starting a new academic year, because it is for them that we have gathered here. So thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's delightful to be able to welcome you all, but please all rise at the moment, because a number of the faculty have left us over the past 12 months, and let's observe a minute of silence for those who passed away.
Dziękuję bardzo.
Thank you very much.
Szanowni Państwo,
Ladies and gentlemen, before we move to the next item on the agenda of our inauguration ceremony, may I remind you that you can use simultaneous interpreting service. If you want to use the service, please raise your hand.
on this ceremony, if you are in need of such translation, please raise your hand. Magnificencjo, prosimy o wygłoszenie.
Magnificence, let's hear the inauguration speech.
Pozwólcie Państwo.
Let me begin with a reflection. Well, while observing the world today, we feel more clearly than ever before in history of mankind that we are experiencing disruptive and rapid changes. These cover the most diverse areas, social life, the economy, and the understanding of democracy, technology, culture, attitudes to the environment, minority rights, as well as education and higher education. One could say that the Heraclitus' words, panta rei, everything flows, should be slightly modified to everything flows faster and faster. Family, school, local and national and religious and cultural communities often fail to keep up with the fast-paced world, including new technologies. Change is happening too fast almost everywhere, and at the same time, while institutions that were fundamentally formative in the 20th century are now seeking to become not as standard, but a safe haven in a world of chaos. The education of young people for life in the new reality, as challenging and demanding as it is, rests to a large extent on schools and universities. Meanwhile, critics coming from liberal, radical, conservative positions are questioning the present model of both schools and universities as outdated and in need of refreshing. Well, exactly are we sure? In the course of this talk, I would like to reflect on some key issues. Firstly, whether and to what extent the existing model of higher education meets the challenges of today. Secondly, how Kozminski, as a leading university in its field in Poland and Central Europe, is coping with the challenges of today. And thirdly, whether and to what extent the professional competencies, general knowledge, analytical and critical thinking skills, attitudes and values brought from the university help our graduates to make the right choices in their professional and personal lives. In the world today, according to World Bank statistics, we have 225 million students, almost 3% of the global population, while in 2000 only 100 million people were studying. As can be seen, global interest in higher education has doubled in the last 20 years. The importance of magnitude of modern higher education is evidenced by the fact that when Wilhelm von Humboldt developed the prevailing university model in the early 19th century, there were approximately 1 billion people in the world. The basic principle in his university model is the holistic combination of research and teaching of young people with a common goal of imparting both domain-specific knowledge and broadening intellectual horizons and cultural capital, and consequently making young people aware, well-informed, with unadulterated knowledge and capable of critically analyzing the surrounding reality. Is it still the old school, or does it require change? Key to achieving this goal, in von Humboldt's view, were two concepts that are still relevant today: the independent individual and the citizen of the world. Each individual should strive for individual autonomy through determination, responsibility for his or her own decisions, and the critical use of his or her own intellect. By contrast, independent individuals shaped by higher education will become citizens of the world when, in the spirit of rationalization, they take up the great issue of humanity, striving for peace, seeking justice, cultural exchange, fighting discrimination, promoting equality and understanding, caring for others and for nature. A university can only pursue such goals if, according to von Humboldt, it is characterized by academic freedom, independence from external influences of a political, ideological, or economic nature. An institution of higher education is to be free from state and bureaucratic dependence, which requires the institution to be self-managed and to find its own resources of funding as a guarantee of autonomy. Following these ideas, which have already been applied at universities such as Harvard or Stanford, we have created an endowment, a fund that allows for the collection and investment of donor funds. We announced this historic moment in Polish higher education on the 9th of October 2003, and we showed the pioneers who were committed to building a strong business university here in Warsaw, and these were Panatoni, Ergo, Hestia, Bank Millennium, Ernst & Young, Ceres Consulnet, and individual donors. Today, in a few moments, we will announce another historic moment, the first patronage of a university in Poland, which confirms that in striving for our common aspirations and dreams, we have chosen the right path. We have friends who think alike and perfectly understand the meaning of the word philanthropy. As for the details, please bear with us and be patient. It is worth recalling that the funds generated by the endowment will be used, as in the best American or European universities, to offer free education to the most talented people from home and abroad. The cost of study must not be a barrier to access to education, while financial independence is to be a guarantee of academic freedom. Let us remember that the greatest competitive struggle in the world takes place precisely for talent, for above-average minds that change the trajectory of the world and scientific development. But let's return to the consideration of the essence of the university. Alternatives to the Humboldtian model are specialized universities, focused on a chosen field with greater appeal to the expectation and needs of the industries that graduates are expected to feed in the future. One example is management education, particularly in the form of MBAs, which began in the mid-20th century in response to demand in the rapidly industrializing U.S. economy. And in fact, we should mention that the origins of management education come from Europe and not the United States. And the first specialized university was the École Spéciale de Commerce d'Industrie, now ESCP Business School, was founded in 1819, so more than 200 years ago. The ESCP Business School and ALK have been linked by a strategic alliance for years, and our joint programs are very successful among candidates and are also valued by the companies and institutions. From September to 2025, we will offer a Bachelor of Management program focused on sustainability, in which, regardless of where the candidate comes from, he or she will spend the first year in Warsaw before going on to further ESCP European campuses in Paris, London, Madrid, Berlin, or Turin, or Warsaw. In the 1990s, when management education was well established in Poland,
a głównie Wielkiej Brytanii do głosu doszła ta trzecia droga, a więc neoliberalna.
The neoliberal concept of the university came to the fore, mainly in the UK, and its main premise was to approach the university as a commercial institution that should earn its own living, while research and scientific development of staff and the education of students are subordinated to this goal. The university will be more concerned with its relations with the outside world, with public authorities, politicians, finance and business communities, with opinion makers and stakeholders in the broadest sense, while the results of scientific research should be useful and produce tangible, primarily financial effects for specific industries, the economy and society. In such a view, higher education not only limits the scientific ambitions of academic staff and narrows the areas of research to those desired by business, government and other founders, but also subordinates universities to market forces. Universities become functional to the industries for which they educate, and to some extent they get rid of the previously so desired academic freedom. So pure pragmatics and functional unity. Which of these visions is the most appropriate? It seems optimal to integrate them along the lines of the Hegelian triad from the Humboldtian thesis, universalist, generalist model, more suited to the humanities and social sciences, through its antithesis, i.e. different versions of specialized teaching, to the synthesis, the modern education of ethical, socially aware and sensitive experts who deal with the economy, management and law, taking into account the complex nature of modernity and the constant fundamental changes taking place in it. At Kozminski University, striving to be precisely in the middle of these three currents, we prepare our graduates to operate efficiently and ethically in the VUCA world, a volatile, complex and ambiguous world that is characterized by extreme uncertainty, and one that poses a greater challenge to all managers than previous forms of economic, social and public life. On the one hand, we're dealing with unprecedented economic growth, also in Poland, which is promoted globally by Professor Marcin Pęczkowski of EEK and leading economist at the World Bank. wealth accumulated on an unprecedented scale, the control of many diseases, and the reduction of poverty, while on the other hand, in Poland's immediate neighborhood, a cruel war is being waged by Russian aggressors. There's ongoing fighting in the Middle East, and there's increasing migratory pressure on Europe and the United States from desperate millions of people living in constant danger. As a university of management, economics, and law, despite the fact that our voice through eminent academics and scientists is heard and listened to in Davos and Washington and Boston, Beijing and New York, we ourselves are unlikely to solve the great problems of humanity, but we will at least show them to our students. We will reflect with them on these issues together and try to find solutions that will make the world a better, safer, more comfortable, more prosperous, and more just place for all, regardless of cultural, national, ethnic differences and different worldviews, without exclusion and discrimination. Why? Because this is what we want, because that is what we have always been, as evidenced by the 30-year-old Kozminski Decalogue of Values, and because, nilly-willy, we are strongly heard.
We are the only Polish university present high in the International Financial Times rankings, leading in the region of Central and Eastern Europe, a university with all the most important international accreditations since 2012, becoming the elite in the positive sense of 1% of economic schools in the world with highest prestige, enjoying the highest prestige. We are a university cooperating with more than 200 universities from all the continents, with more than a dozen double-degree programs, with participation of the global network of advanced management programs, that is a group of 32 of the world's best business schools under the aegis of the Yale School of Management, which together developed a strategy for educating future leaders. We can't lock ourselves into the bubble of a country or region, because the world of universities is global. The number of students studying outside their home country has tripled in the past 20 years, already reaching 6 million in 2020. They are mainly attracted by American and European universities, but Kozminski University also has considerable achievements in this regard. The international community of our students consists of 1,500 foreigners from 70 countries, and Polish students, taking advantage of the good reputation enjoyed by Kozminski University, pursue part of their studies on foreign scholarships. Our lecturers also work at the best universities of the world, such as MIT, Harvard, or Stanford. Made in Poland really works, and we can be proud of it. But the university's real impact on the world is the energy that comes from research passion. The latest fruit of such passions is the victory of Kozminski University at the European Universities 2024 competition, thanks to the research passion of our two female researchers, Professor Aleksandra Przegalińska and Professor Izabela Grabowska. The EU On-Air Consortium will lead a unique project introducing artificial intelligence into the education and management of universities in Europe in the context of migration changes and building the competitiveness of the European economy. Thanks to tremendous effort and cooperation with excellent partners from Croatia, Spain, Germany, Switzerland, Lithuania, France, Luxembourg, Greece, Ukraine, and Poland, we have become a participant in the prestigious European University program, where out of 64 functioning consortiums, only 2 have Polish leaders, or rather female leaders, Poznań University of Technology and Kozminski University. I like to say that we have 3% of European scientific leadership in Poland, but it's the leadership that is wise, participatory, supportive, and authentic, based on friendship and cooperation with our partners. The ambitions of our university are high, really reach high, really literally, because some of our scientists are really pursuing projects in space, and they work on the law related to space and entrepreneurship, in fact. And Professor Katarzyna Malinowska has been awarded for outstanding scientific achievements in space law research, law that is open to modernity, to globalization, and to the legislative needs associated with them, is becoming a fascinating discipline of science and study. Kozminski University is a business school of a broad profile. We educate, and conduct research in disciplines such as finance, economics, sociology, psychology, and law. However, it is management that is the most frequently chosen field of study, both in Poland and internationally, including at our university. The popularity of this major is due to the fact that male and female graduates want to be effective and financially successful, most often due to the intangible talent of people in this part of the world, natural, multidimensional, entrepreneurial spirit. The additional value that we impart is to learn how to manage yourself, your life, your career, your relationships. Management is a relatively young science, but it has developed an impressive set of effective tools, which you learn during your studies and which work well in different circumstances. The Kozminski way, so our recipe for teaching, yields good results, both in the form of students or graduate community, outstanding research and teaching staff, as well as rankings. Management is our flagship, and this faculty has been the winner of the Perspectives rankings for years, and for years has also represented Poland in the Financial Times ranking of the best management studies in the world, including MBAs. At the beginning, I said that the university is formative for the younger generation. Young people are grappling with many of the problems of today. At the university, they are looking for explanation of the causes of the crisis of democracy, the threat of populism, nationalism, disinformation. We give everyone a safe place to express themselves and engage in debate. We do not impose our own views, but we represent different perspectives, points of view, including different threats. It may sometimes surprise you, but more than once you will hear from someone prominent here in the halls of our university that that person doesn't know, that they don't know the answer to the question asked, and will ask you to think together about this answer, because this is the role of the modern university and the role of authorities, not just to give clear prescriptions, categorical yes or no, but to stimulate you to think, to doubt, and to try to find together an answer to the question asked. I think it is where the key challenge for universities lies. It is not of financial or regulatory nature. It is of cultural nature. The stakes for which modern universities are fighting are gigantic, and the stakes are for the trust of the society and the student community. Let's remember that when choosing studies, the young generation pays with something that is most important, their own time, and this choice of studies must simply pay off precisely in this dimension, time well spent. That is why here in the corridors of the university you will see our credo, education that matters. When I began my first term as a rector, I defined the mission of our university with the words, a new school for the new world. In our second term, which began on September the 1st of this year, with rectors and deans, we will continue this mission. We are aware that the academic world is also undergoing the big changes that I've mentioned, and certainly our voice will not be missing in the debates about the university for the new times. I will conclude with a metaphorical critique of the old system of higher education, which was delivered years ago from this place by the founder of Leon Kozminski Academy University, its longtime rector and now honorary president, using the words of the poet Tadeusz Różewicz. At the university, professor under an umbrella, wearing a red turban on his head, lectures on metaphysics, advises how to breathe using the prana, nonsense, hypocrisy and falsehood. At our university, female professors never walked around wearing red turbans. Instead, they are kind, open and willing, have a good rapport with students while being internationally respected authorities in their disciplines. I wish all employees, colleagues, and above all students of the Kozminski University a successful new academic year 2024-2025. Quod felix, Faustum fortunatumque sit. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to apologize. Just one more little effort. On the 1st of September, the new term began, of the new rectors and deans team. This team is just sitting right there, and I wanted to welcome the new members of that team, people who are only now getting experience in this very difficult area, Professor Jolanta Tkaczyk and Professor Paweł Kozminski. Thank you. And the last announcement, I know that some of my great friends will have to leave our ceremony slightly earlier before the end. So you can go if you have to, but I hope you will still be with us for a while. Thank you. So a round of applause once again. Now I would like to ask Professor Witold Bielecki to take the forum. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This title, President, simply means I'm the chairman of the our Trust Council. I wanted very briefly focus on two things. So I will be speaking from here just to save time and not to walk to the stand. Okay. They're already making signs that I'm talking too much. I wanted to draw your attention, particularly the attention of the students, for two things. One is the Signum Temporis. Yesterday, there was an inauguration mass celebrated with the homily given by Leszek Slipek, the prelate. And the subject of that homily was artificial intelligence. Now, isn't this the sign of times that the same subject, hot topic, artificial intelligence, is mentioned in the homily during a mass and will be mentioned during our inauguration lecture? And now addressing the students, those who don't know me may not know that I'm a fan of the anti-fragility theory as defined by Nicholas Taleb, the creator of the concept of black swan. Black swans are the events that are extremely improbable. Nobody takes them into account, but if they do happen, they can lead to a lot of difficult situations and disasters. It's a big book, but it's about black swan, and it reads very well, even though it's been written by a professor of mathematics specializing in the calculus, but it's very well written, very well translated into Polish. So I don't have to explain the idea of a black swan to you. We've recently had a lot of examples of that, such as the financial crisis at the beginning, in the first decade of the 21st century. That was this famous Fukushima disaster as well, was a black swan with a tsunami that nobody had expected. The tsunami wave that destroyed that power plant, even though it had been anticipated to be absolutely indestructible. Now, in response to those black swans, Taleb has written another book, Anti-Fragility, which is not about how to secure yourselves against black swans. If we can't predict them, you can't really get immune against them or protect yourself, but how to mitigate the effects of black swans. What is this anti-fragility about? I won't be defining it, but I'll just give you examples, such as the fight between Goliath and David. As you know, Goliath, a strong knight, strongly armed, loses the fight with a small boy. Why? Because, according to Taleb, Goliath was fragile. He only knew how to do one thing, how to fight with people such as himself, giant, well-armed. He didn't even know that there are other ways of fighting and was not prepared for that. Why am I saying that? Just referring to anti-fragility. Our university, apart from a number of criteria that we have to meet for various ratings and rankings, and we are very good at that, and His Magnificence, the Rector, has mentioned that. But when the pandemic came, which is also identified as a black swan, which is not really true, because Taleb himself even said that the probability of such an epidemic was not that small, at least according to his theory. But in terms of consequences, it really was very similar to black swans. Everybody was surprised. Governments, boards of management boards of companies, we were also surprised. On Tuesday, our building, our halls were full of international students speaking various languages, and the following day we found out that the school would have to be closed, and on Wednesday there was nobody here. But we as a university had been preparing ourselves for remote teaching, not because we were anticipating an epidemic, but we just decided that that was a modern manner of teaching, that's something that we wanted to start to implement. And at the same time, during that one day, we launched a course on MS Teams. Everybody knows what Teams is, where there were about 100 teachers teaching on that course. And on Thursday, we just started our online studies according to the schedule prepared for regular students, daytime students. So we had absolutely no problem with continuing our studies, unlike other universities which struggled with the consequences of the lockdown. So anti-fragility can be described in terms of organization, but also individual situations. So I'm addressing now the students, particularly the new students, the digital natives, who, apart from, all those differences between generations and different letters and snowflakes and so on and so forth. But you may not even realize that, but if something is interesting to you, you are prepared to devote your time just to it, to focus it on it. But if you are not interested, if it doesn't attract you, you just couldn't give a damn. And that is very visible during the hackathons that we organize here, when people come to solve a problem and they are isolated from the outer world for 24 hours. Our hackathons are called Leothons, and they are very popular and very, very effective. But coming back to anti-fragility, I wanted to appeal to you, because you are now facing a great chance. Because this university, regardless of the department you've chosen, the major you've chosen, is very diverse in the structure of the courses that you can attend. So it gives you an opportunity to build your own profile of competencies. Unlike other universities, take that opportunity. Don't respond in such a way that if you get, for instance, the subject such as accounting, students come and say, why should I study accounting? I will never be an accountant. I don't care. But you never know how the methods that are taught during that course can be helpful in some situation in your life, later in your life. When, for instance, you come across the black swan. So take this opportunity and try to build your anti-fragility by actively participating in all the courses. They are not there randomly selected by chance. It's not that we have those particular lecturers because they have some family connections. No, it's really worth attending those courses just for your own benefit. Another example, the pilot. Remember that pilot that managed to land on the Hudson River? He had 3 minutes from the moment when this alarm light was visible to take the decision. He ignored the instruction that was telling him fly to the next airport. And the experts say that if he had done that, he probably wouldn't be able to make it. He decided to land on the river. Why? Because he was anti-fragile, because his knowledge was much broader than what theoretically pilots need to know, need to have. And that's something that should convince you to just take the knowledge you're offered. here at this university. So I wish you good luck.
Dziękuję bardzo.
Thank you very much, Professor. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have an honor to greet again Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Digitization and Government Plenipotentiary for Cybersecurity, Mr. Krzysztof Gawkowski. Minister, the floor is yours. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Rector, may I start with greetings? It'll be faster and quicker and better. A university, the university that is hosting us today, is an exceptional place which links the students' brotherhood and eminent researchers, people who have created this place, have been providing inspiration and evidence that science can be led not only by government institutions. And it is my utmost pleasure, because I have many friends who have graduated from this university, and they are inspired by this university as a place where science can be discussed, debated, where inspiration can be sought, and where passion can be nurtured. A university that encompasses all these elements makes an exception in the tertiary education landscape. So I would like to congratulate the Board of Trustees, the Rector and the faculty and all the students on this opportunity of creating this huge family, because this is how this university is often described on the map of universities in this country. And you are a good example that it's worth investing and building alliances and partnerships. We heard it in the opening speech, and we've noticed that there are so many partners in this room, and you are linked to many projects out there, which is an evidence of trust in the university and years of looking for trade-offs and joint projects. May I therefore congratulate the Kozminski University again on the grant, which is not only unique, but it is uniquely implemented in a special area. Promoting AI in tertiary education is likely to be a spearhead for the academic community in Europe, and a tool for building trust in the university. So I would like to congratulate the Rector and Professor Aleksandra Przegalińska, because Poland is very proud of having such eminent experts in the artificial intelligence domain. Now, this consortium wouldn't have happened, and this opportunity would not have been created if it wasn't for the work that was conducted for years, where dreams are coined, and when young people come hungry for knowledge. In the Ministry of Digitization, we want this forward-looking qualifications to be taught at Polish schools. Therefore, we are building alternatives, and we are spending government money in order for universities and for Polish scientists to bring these resources to bear while seeking innovation in AI, so that both them and the students can boldly face the challenge and make progress. These recommendations should be leading you towards success, and may the faculty that are working with you understand that they are dealing with the best of the best. People who have come here to seek knowledge are really the best of the best in society. And the business community that you have created and that you have been working with is a standing evidence that you will be successfully competing against public universities, which is positive, because this is many times collaboration rather than rivalry. And this is where we are building a common path for the education sector and for Poland into the future. And may I wish you success on that path. And when you do find failure, may this failure be converted into a lesson learned and then something in terms of a positive outcome. Thank you very much. Minister, thank you very much. May I now give the floor to Leon Rouse, Rector and Dean of the CP School.
Now we would like to invite Professor Leona Luza, Executive President and Dean of ESCP Business School, the oldest in the world leading economics university, to take the floor.
Thank you. Dear Deputy Prime Minister Skokowski, dear Minister Nowotka, dear representative from ministries, dear corporate leaders, dear Honorary President Kozminski, dear President Bilecki, dear Rector Mazurek, dear President and Rectors, distinguished guests, faculty members, and finally, dear students. Dzień dobry. It's a real honor to say a few words for this official academic year. I would like first to extend my gratitude to Honorary President Dr. Honoris Causa of ESCP, Professor Kozminski, whose leadership has greatly contributed to the partnership between ESCP Business School and Kozminski University. President Professor Bilecki, Rector Professor Mazurek, and the entire Kozminski community for welcoming us today. Since 2015, as Rector Mazurek said, ESCP has been privileged to partner with Akademia, Leona, Kozminski, one of Central and Eastern Europe leading institutions known for its international reputation for excellence. I have to say, personally, with a name like Leon, it seems great things are bound to happen. Our collaborations have provided outstanding opportunities for students, including access to our executive MBA programs, to our Master's in Management programs, and as Rector Mazurek said, starting next year, a dual degrees at the bachelor level. Together, we are preparing students, all of you here, to lead in a global multicultural world. But I also would like to call, we prepare them to a disrupt world. Disrupt is an acronym, which means digitalized, inclusive, sustainable, rapid, unpredictable, tangled, which means interconnected world. Last year, we celebrated the 50th anniversaries of ESCP unique multi-campus model, uniting 6 campuses across Europe, including Warsaw. Our shared values, tolerance, openness, diversity, and humanism continue to guide us. Since 2022, ESCP has offered tuition-free programs for 500 Ukrainian refugees across our European campuses. Finally, this partnership reflects the unique ties between France and Poland, diplomatically through the Weimar Triangle, and economically has key trade partners, and culturally through figures like Maria Skłodowska-Curie and Frédéric Chopin. To conclude, ESCP is very proud to collaborate with Kozminski University. Together, we will continue to build a trust and future rooted in the European spirit that united us. I wish you all a very successful and inspiring academic year. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor. And let me just say, your Polish is impeccable. Szanowni Państwo, mam zaszczyt
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to invite Minister of National Education, Barbara Nowacka. Madam Minister, the floor is yours.
Magnificencjo Rector,
Magnificence, Rector, all the guests, and ladies and gentlemen from all the universities. It's such a pleasure to see you all again at an inauguration ceremony at the Kozminski University. I remember several years back when Doctor at that time, Dr. Przegalińska, made her keynote speech on artificial intelligence, said a few things about artificial intelligence, and we were not sure whether that was the direction. And here we are 6 years afterwards. We are in a new world with new technologies, but with more stability in the form of a robust growth of universities in Poland and globally, and we can see the evidence here as crowds of talented young people choose this university. Labor breeds privilege and accomplishment. So you will have to put in labor, you will have put in effort, you will go through ups and downs. But please remember that going to university has been a wise choice for you, especially a university that is built around the partnership between science and business. Primary and secondary schools teach you responsibility, and this is where you actually are taking this responsibility whilst at a university. You will not be pampered and tutored to take all the decisions, to go to classes and to take exams. You are on your own, but with a great support of these eminent universities whose diplomas mean something. Over the past 30 years, this university with Mr. President has done fantastic things to maintain this university high on the ranking list, and building prestige and building the brand and building a strong scientific community. 31 years ago, where the Kozminski University became established for the there was a whole host of similar initiatives out there in Poland. Universities had aspirations to provide education and to aspire for excellence. Some of them have not survived. This university has persevered and have been enormously successful, building up and the flourishing talent for business and for Poland. And I wish you all the success possible in the coming year. Thank you, Madam Minister, for the kind words. May I therefore ask Professor Jurk Jorkol, Head of European School of Management Technology in Berlin and Head of the Steering Committee of Global Network of
Thank you very much.
Enterprise Education.
President of the European School of Management and Technology in Berlin and President of Steering Committee of Global Network for Advanced Management, a consortium of world-leading business schools. Professor.
Thank you very much. Excellencies, magnificencies, professors, students, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor, a great privilege for me to be here for the opening of the academic year 24-25. And there are different reasons why I'm so honored to be here with you. The first one being the fact that Kozminski and ESMT have cooperated for now a number of years. We are very delighted. We are very honored about this partnership. We look very much forward to furthering this partnership going forward. We believe that the top business school from Poland and the top business school from Germany are really natural partners. They're natural partners in advancing what really is important to our students, to our faculty members, to our broader societies. In particular, both institutions being very open to the world. And this brings me to the second point. Both being part of the Global Network for Advanced Management, GNAM, combining 32 of the best business schools of the world, as the network said, always to pick the best business school from each respective country in which the GNAM network operates, providing fantastic opportunities to our students, to also our faculty members, to our students in particular when we think about the so-called Global Network Weeks, where students have the opportunity to choose any of the member schools, the 32 member schools, for an exchange program. We have other types of cooperation formats within GNAM, the global virtual teams, in which, again, students from different business schools can work together, they can come together, and they can really discuss the issues of constant and urgent importance. And let me add to this, and this is also goes back to the origination of the partnership between Kozminski and ESMT. We strongly believe in the fact that also here the top business school from Poland and the top business school from Germany should work very closely together, because we see there are significant challenges that we currently observe at this point of time that actually need to undergo serious research, serious teaching, and in particular also a very vivid platform in which these schools come together. And some of these challenges we've already heard about, but let me nonetheless just say what they are. We have, in that sense, transformation in every dimension we could imagine. Maybe we have the most transformative moments in decades. When it comes to the question, as the minister said, when it comes to technology, artificial intelligence, significant changes in the way we work together, we live. We have significant challenges on our way to become sustainable in every dimension in which we operate. Sustainability, therefore, is also a fundamental part of the transformation we currently observe. And this brings me back to the fact that I so strongly believe in a strong cooperation between Kozminski and ESMT. We also have a very transformative moment in terms of geopolitics when we think of the Russian war against Ukraine, when we think of many of the other challenges, in particular on the day today, on October 7th, to remind us of the terrible events just 1 year ago. So therefore, it is a great honor, it's a great delight to be here with you. I am very deeply thankful for the great partnership, I should say the friendship between Kozminski and ESMT. I look very much forward to fostering this friendship, this partnership to the mutual benefit of the institutions, in particular to all the students, faculty members, and all the other stakeholders that are related in this partnership. So thank you very much for inviting me. It's a great honor to be here, and I wish you all the very best for the next academic year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. We are also looking forward to our continuous partnership, or as you said, friendship. Zapraszam na scenę pana Mariusza Frankowskiego, wojewodę mazowieckiego, który również zwróci się do państwa w swoim wystąpieniu. Panie wojewodo, zapraszam.
Panie rektorze, szanowni państwo, panie premierze, pani ministro, jestem 1,5 minuty. Pan rektor mi tak powiedział, więc postaram się bardzo trochę będzie osobiście.
I will speak on a personal note. 10
rozpoczynałem
years ago,
studia,
I
chodząc tutaj do tej
started
uczelni,
my studies here
studia
at this
Executive
university,
MBA i muszę przyznać, że dekadę
Executive
później
MBA, and I have to say that
nie
a decade later,
miałem świadomości, że będę miał przyjemność i duży zaszczyt
aware that 10 years later
tylko
I
jako
would have
absolwent
the honor to
tych
speak
studiów.
to you not
Udało
just
się po
as
2
a
latach
graduate of
z
this
sukcesem zakończyłem swoją
university,
edukację,
But
na tej uczelni. Nie tylko
because I have
jako
managed to
laureat
graduate,
prestiżowej
not
nagrody
only as the person awarded the Kozminski Lions Award,
za proroctwo.
and thank you to the chapter of this award, because I was awarded that lion last year, and then a year later I'm the voivod of the Mazowsze Voivodeship, that is the representative of the government in the region which can be compared to Denmark in terms of size. I have changed, I have been promoted, but also the university have been changing. In 2015, they joined the SCP. That happened when I was a student here. Maybe it wasn't an accident, but seriously speaking, observing Kozminski over the last 10 years, I have to really say a few words of acknowledgement to all those managing the university, the rectors, the teachers, the cooperation, the development of the endowment, and also the implementation of a number of very interesting projects, the development of the AI project under the aegis of Professor Aleksandra Przegalińska, whom I've been really following for years and watching how she has been promoting artificial intelligence in many different places. So without a doubt, Kozminski University is one of the best, if not the best, private university, not just in Mazowsze region, not just in Poland, but also in Europe. And great congratulations to the current and previous management of the university, as well as to the current rector, Grzegorz Mazurek, and the entire team that he has managed to gather around himself, because it's a great thing and great success to have such a university. And I wish all the students all the best, all the success. You've made a great choice, so I wish that you are able to develop your skills, to develop your both academic, professional career, and also I wish you a lot of success in your private lives, because now is the time that all this is happening. Mr. Voivod, thank you very much. And now Ms. Renata Kaznowska, the Deputy Mayor of the capital city of Warsaw. I'm not a graduate of Kozminski University, but who knows? Maybe one day. Ladies and gentlemen, I have this great pleasure on behalf of the Mayor Rafał Trzaskowski to address you, Your Magnificence, the Academy, students. On the occasion of the inauguration of the academic year 2024-2025, I would like to extend the warmest wishes to the entire community of the Kozminski University. New academic year is a unique moment when new opportunities, new chances appear, chances to develop our passions, our skills, to accrue knowledge, so important for the development of the contemporary city. The Kozminski University is a university that is distinguished on the academic map of Warsaw, educating future leaders ready to face the challenges of the future. Your successes in international ranking are the proof of the great quality of education and modern approach to teaching, the high level of education, which is in key areas in today's world, management, economics, new technologies, and law, give us the possibilities to work together based on joint priorities. As the mayor of Warsaw, I have been monitoring our joint activities, supporting the development of Warsaw as the leading scientific and academic center in Europe. Our joint projects not only help the social development and economic development of our city, but also create space and platform for the development of reflection and thought It also provides opportunity to attract talents and develop the Warsaw labor market, and it's of great value for the development of our city. And I hope that our joint activities will be developed and continued, bringing results in the area of management, sustainable development, and innovation. I also believe that the community of the Kozminski University will join the work on the strategy of the development of Warsaw 2040 plus, which will set the direction for the development of our city in the future. I wish the entire community of the university, all the teachers, all the administrative staff, Ph.D. students and other students, I wish you all an inspiring time full of success, filled with discovering new possibilities, innovative products, and satisfaction from your scientific and didactic work. I hope this year will bring you a lot of success, a lot of achievements, and a lot of success in facing the challenges that future brings. Rafał Trzaskowski, the mayor of the city of Warsaw. Ladies and gentlemen, I myself wish to join both the wishes, congratulations, and thanks. I wish you all great new academic year.
Pani prezydent, bardzo
Madam Mayor, thank you very much.
magnificencjo.
Your Magnificence.
Bardzo proszę wszystkich o
Now, please rise, and we now will begin the immatriculation ceremony.
Proszę o zajęcie miejsc.
Take your seats.
Rozpoczynamy
Now
uroczyste
we start the
pierwszego roku. Proszę prorektorkę do spraw studentów i jakości kształcenia, panią profesor Jolantę Tkaczyk,
that will be taken by students of the first year, Pro-Rector, Professor
i
Jolanta
przedstawicielek pierwszego roku,
the oath from the students of the first
studentką
year.
bachelor-
The following will be representing the first year students.
pana Oliwiera
Mr.
Plamowskiego,
Oliwier Plamowski, student of management,
pana Michaiła
scholarship of Panatoni, Michał
stypendystę funduszu
Dimitriew,
Panatoni.
management student, Mr. Jan Zajko, student of law in business management, Matylda Pacewicz, student of management and business psychology, scholarship of Panatoni Foundation, Mr. Tomasz Wieluński, student of finance and accounting, Ms. Emilia Jóźwiak, student of management, who has received the scholarship for the best candidates and a special award at the Converse competition. Mr. Kacper Szklarczyk, student of the management, Ms. Maria Torchalova, student of Bachelor in Management course, who has received the scholarship for the best candidates. Ms. Maria Yermakova, student of Bachelor in Management and Artificial Intelligence, also awarded the scholarship for the best candidates. Mr. Daniel Żebrowski, student Bachelor of Finance in Accounting. Ms. Magdalena Osińska, law student, awarded the scholarship for the best candidates. Ms. Victoria Wiczak, scholarship of the Olympiad of zwolnieni z teorii. Ms. Maria Szymańska, student of Management and Sociology in Business and Media, Panatoni scholar. So I would like to ask all the students of the first years to rise and raise your right hand and repeat the words of the oath.
Do zdobywania wiedzy i rozwoju własnej osobowości.
Solemnly pledge to consistently strive toward academic knowledge and personal development, to respect the authorities and staff of the university,
Szanować
its property, academic rules, rights and traditions,
oraz całym swym
and
dbać o honor i godność
not to compromise the reputation of the student body of Kozminski University.
And now the students of our international programs will take pledge. I solemnly pledge to consistently strive toward academic knowledge and personal development, to respect the authorities and staff of the university, its property, academic rules, rights and traditions, and not to compromise the reputation of the student body of Kozminski University. Od tej chwili jesteście studentkami i studentami
From this moment on, you are officially students of Kozminski University.
Kozminski University. Congratulations.
Pani prorektorka do spraw studentów i jakości.
Pro-Rector for Students Affairs, Ms. Jolanta Tkaczyk, will be now awarding congratulations diplomas to our new students. Please take your seats. Now let me invite the chairman of the Students Association, Mr. Kevin Czupryński.
Magnificencjo rektorze,
Your Magnificence Rector, professors, dear guests gathered here at the ceremony, and students of the first year. I am honored that I can now be standing in front of you as the head of the Students Association during the inauguration ceremony of the new academic year at Kozminski University, that we all know is the best business school at the heart of Europe. If you haven't discovered that yet, you will have the chance to experience this. I can see in front of me people full of energy, ambition, future leaders, innovators, people who will be shaping the future of business in Warsaw, in Poland, in Europe, and in the world. We are starting our joint travel full of challenges, but also great experience. I'm sure that this time will be absolutely unique, and you will be later remembering as the best time of your life. Today, I wanted to share with you 3 values that are part of the Kozminski Decalogue, and I'm sure will help you to make the best of the coming years. First of all is curiosity. Curiosity is the driver of development. Don't limit yourself to just one path. Experiment, take part in various initiatives that might be interesting to you, and ask questions. Questions to your lecturers, look for their publications, but also look for lecturers that may be inspiring for you. Take part in the classes, not only those that are in your schedules, but look also for other classes. Because Steve Jobs studied something else, but he was just curious and attended calligraphy classes. And as a result, we have a number of different fonts that we can now use on the computer. If he hadn't attended those classes, we probably wouldn't have what we have, the possibilities that we now have on the computer. It's up to you which opportunities you take. Secondly, being active, because studies is not just learning, it's also being active, being actively engaged in a number of things. Be active in scientific clubs, different projects. They will allow you to get some practical skills, and thanks to that you will be able to succeed not only in your classes but also in different competitions, fundraising. Expecting, sitting there and expecting things to happen to you is not a good path. It's not enough. Being active and being persevering in this activity is the best thing you can do. You should test yourself in different enterprises, and sometimes even if you fail, that will also be a good lesson for you. If you don't look for opportunities, you will never find them. And thirdly, community and opportunities. Find people you will be able to work with. The studies really is the time of starting relations that in future will bring you a lot of fruit. When you leave this school, you will leave it with a network of contacts. You have a chance to work in different project teams, so try to take up different roles, because this will not only enrich your experience, expand your experience, but also will let you start great relationships for the future life. In our community, you will find people with different ambitions, different experience, from business families, but also those who are distinguished even now from among their peers. It would be a grave mistake not to use that. You are starting your first year at this university. I'm starting my first year as a chairman of the Students' Association. It's going to be a very demanding year, but we will be in it together. As Seneca said, the sailor who does not know where he's sailing will never have good wind. And if you don't know which port you are heading to, no wind would be good for you. Dear students, as of today, you are students of our university. Be proud of this. Represent our university with dignity. And right now, just be happy about this adventure. Have fun, but also be active and continue to build the most important capital that you can build, the human capital. Thank you. Thank you very much. A great round of applause once again for all the first-year students.
Ladies and gentlemen, a special moment before us, the ceremony of announcing the patronage, the first ever patronage over university. Patronage has been instrumental in flourishing arts and academia. And it has often defined eras. I hope that this will be of equal significance for us. May I therefore invite Professor Sylwia Hałas-Day to make the announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, a year ago, we started this incredible journey to build endowment for the sustainability of the university. With us today are those who believed in this project, and I would like to announce that Elemental became the first patron of the Kozminski University. Paweł Jaski's mind work. This company is an example of how vital the links between business and academia can be.
Na scenę
And may I therefore invite His Magnificence Professor Grzegorz Mazurek and Dean Dr. Sylvia Hałas-Day to award the formal title.
Jeszcze raz ogromne brawa.
Again, a big thank you and a big applause,
I
please.
zapraszamy pana prezesa.
And we would like to ask the president of Elemental to take the floor. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not actually ready because I'm straight from my plane from Japan. I am a graduate of this university. I graduated 20 years ago. I listened to Professor Bielecki's lectures back then. I remember some of the lectures quite vividly. Just as by way of consolation, to the first year students, I can say I wasn't a stellar student in terms of my performance. I was an average student, but I have still succeeded. Now I feel this obligation after years of my career. I never worked for anyone. I already was prepared to start my own business when I graduated. As I left the university with my head full of ideas, not all of them too good, to be honest. Some of them faced a brutal reality check. I remember the words that business people should be ready to go bankrupt several times. And I was ready. I felt that, and I experienced that. But with determination and strong will, you'll end up successful. And this is a dividing line between failing business people and persevering business people. I would like to relate to my early days. I wrote my dissertation paper in customer relations. I remember Professor Bielecki, who spoke about Taleb. He went through my paper, and I was in this exam, not remember exactly my paper. And I finished my little speech to Professor Bielecki and said, well, you're satisfactory, he said. I thought it was funny, but now today, when I listen to Professor Bielecki, so many years afterwards, I heard anti-fragility. I'm an example of anti-fragility and a guy who knows Black Swan. When I bought my first company in the US, it was 2018. We had these negotiations in New York with the seller. And New York, time lag of 6 hours. I went to this gym before work in a hotel, Mandarin Oriental it was called, and it was just me and an old elderly gentleman. And because this is a small cozy gym, we kind of exercised in front of each other. And he was doing the deadlift, and so did I. And he came up to me, actually, he corrected my position, and it was Mr. Taleb, and I hadn't known him. And so, he was experienced, so he said, young man, you're doing this in a slightly wrong way. So he corrected my posture, and we then exercised and we chatted. And when I was leaving the gym, because you had to sign up and the room number, so your name and room number, and I saw this was Mr. or Professor Taleb. Thank you very much. So I started with a plane journey and I ended with one. Thank you very much. It's an extreme privilege for us that you are with us today. That's not the only honors that we are going to experience today. We're going to give medals for the contribution to the Kozminski University, and a medal can go to a person who is specially has specially contributed to the development of this university. And we are giving this to Mr. Robert Dobrzycki, CEO of Patronage Europe, which was the first company in Europe supporting the endowment of a privately owned university. So I would like the Dean and the Rector to kindly hand in the medal. Your yes, after minutes, just minutes of our conversation, made history back then. So thank you.
Ogromne brawa jeszcze raz.
Let's have a big round of applause, please.
I poprosimy również pana prezesa o zabranie głosu.
And now, Mr. Dobrzycki, could you please take a moment to address this audience? Good morning. I'm not prepared either. Actually, I will not speak long. May I just thank the Rector and all of you for this fantastic award. We started our collaboration, our partnership a year ago. We were one of the first companies to contribute to your endowment. We believed in Poland, and we believed that we can make it stronger by investing in education. Poland is a young democracy and young economy, and bearing in mind what is going on around in the world, it was only pivotal. We thought that we should invest in education. I run a global company. I can see that there's so much to be done in Poland. We would like to reinvest what we earn in our growth and development and education here in Poland. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As you know only too well, global education is never built alone, and we are happy that this mission is being supported by eminent people, institutions, and companies. Together, we make the future. As the first university in Poland, we have created endowment, which allows us to meet our strategic goals as we aspire to be the best university, one of the best universities in the world. So we would like to thank all the partners, Elemental, Panatoni, Bank Millennium, Ergohestia, EY, and the supporting partner, Ceres Consulnet, and we would like to thank our graduates for their contribution. Now, a very special part of this ceremony, because as a graduate liaison office director, I have the privilege of announcing the awards to those who are the most shining of our graduates. So far, we have bestowed the statuette of Lion of Kozminski to 65 graduates.
A jednocześnie świadectwo tego, że nauka i doświadczenie zdobyte w murach naszej uczelni owocują niezwykłymi historiami.
I would like to welcome to the opportunity that focuses on innovation, development and supporting each other in achieving both professional and personal goals. By choosing Kozminski University, you have also chosen a part in the lifelong development. We're about to announce this year's winners and laureates of the Kozminski Lions competition. The statuettes will be presented by the Rector of ALK, Professor Grzegorz Mazurek, and the President of ALK and the Chair of the Chapter of the Lions of Kozminski competition, Professor Witold Bielecki. Just as an explanation, as a chapter, we have behaved in an anti-fragile way. We violated our bylaws, and in one of the categories, we actually are presenting 2 awards by way of an exception. But we had the right to do so, and we are anti-fragile. So thank you very much. So please stand in front of the stage, and Mr. Prażma will hand in the lions one by one. Public Administration Lion goes to Marta Niziołowska-Pacwa, Director General at the Ministry of Finance, expert in project management, public procurement, law and EU financial perspective, graduate of the 23rd edition of the MBAIT program at this university. Thank you. Kozminski Lion in the public administration category, so the second winner goes to Doctor of Medical Science, Dr. Artur Zaczyński, Head of the Department of Neurosurgery at the National Medical Institute of the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Administration in Warsaw, and Head of the Medical Humanitarian Aid Team at the Chancellery of the Prime Minister of Poland.
Dziękujemy bardzo.
Thank you.
Lwa Koźmińskiego w kategorii
Kozminski Lion in the manager category goes to Mr. Piotr Kozina, Director of the Management Board and CEO of PSB Handel SA Group, a graduate of the 10th edition of the MBA Finance program at Kozminski University.
Lwa Koźmińskiego w kategorii
A Kozminski Lion in the lawyer category goes to Mr. Tomasz Pieczyk, co-founder and managing partner of SAKP Ślusarek Kubiak and Pieczyk Law for experience and legal advisor and restructuring advisor, and winner of many awards and distinctions, and a graduate in the postgraduate studies of bankruptcy and restructuring of enterprises at the Kozminski University.
I już nasz ostatni.
And the last lion, last but not least, Kozminski Lion in the entrepreneur category goes to Paweł Jarski, president of the Elemental Group, and a graduate of the first and second degree in management and marketing at Kozminski University.
Dziękujemy bardzo. Poproszę jeszcze
Thank you very much. Let's have a big round of applause for the Lions of Kozminski.
Drodzy Państwo, to jeszcze nie wszystkie
But
oklaski.
that's not the only applause we're going to hear during this ceremony. We would like to congratulate and acknowledge a special graduate, Mr. Kamil Lotowski, who's a medalist in the Paralympics. Hard work helped him finish his legal studies, and then it helped him gain 2 golden medals.
Grzegorz Mazurek oraz prorektor do spraw pracy i otoczenia.
The rector, Professor Mazurek, and Bartłomiej Nowak, head of the legal department, will hand in the special recognition in front of the university flag.
Panie Kamilu, zapraszamy do zabrania głosu.
Kamil, please address the audience.
Szanowne władze uczelni, szanowni goście, przede wszystkim chciałem podziękować za to zaproszenie i przeprosić za mój głos, muszę odchrząknąć. W każdym razie jestem tutaj dzisiaj jedynym przedstawicielem sportu wśród wybitnych osób, które tutaj mogły przemawiać, występować i odbierać laury. I chciałbym powiedzieć, że według mnie w zdrowym ciele zdrowy duch. I chciałbym, żeby cała edukacja, nie tylko ta wyższa, ale od początku po prostu ścieżki edukacyjnej każdego Polaka, było to dostrzegane, że jest to bardzo ważne, żeby łączyć wszystkie pasje. Oczywiście w moim kontekście jest to sport i jest to bardzo ważne, że na swojej drodze mogę spotkać tyle osób, które były w stanie to zrozumieć, wspierać mnie w każdej chwili i po prostu rozumieć potrzeby tego, czym jest sport w życiu i jak wiele poświęcenia wymaga.
Who have understood what sports is and how much sacrifice it requires. And I wanted to thank the management of this university, all the lecturers, all the professors and doctors whom I have come across here at this university and who have been supporting me in following my passion. And I do hope that you, as the students, you won't have to give up your passion because of studies. I think those two drive each other, and you should be able to pursue them together. And in this university, it's possible. So don't give up your passion, don't give up your beliefs, but try to combine them all, because if you do that, your life will be fantastic, as it is in my case. Thank you very much, and a great round of applause for other Olympic champion. Ladies and gentlemen, let me now mention that the medal of Mr. Kamil Lotowski is for 50 meters race and backstroke. You will be able to see it here in the hall. Thank you very much. And now, please rise, Your Magnificence, Rector.
Szanowni Państwo,
ladies and gentlemen, dear students, I now hereby declare the academic year 2024-2025. I declare the academic year open.
Post jucundam juventudem, post molestam senectudem, nos habebit humus, nos habebit humus. Vivat Akademia, vivat Professor, Akademia, vivat professores, vivat membrum qualibet, vivat membra felibet, semper sit in flore, semper sit in flore.
Proszę o zajęcie miejsc.
Please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, now the inaugural lecture that this year will be given by Professor Aleksandra Przegalińska, Vice Chancellor for Innovation at the Kozminski University, the leader of the EU On Air project, researcher in AI. The lecture, Horizons of Generative AI in Education, will be given in English. Therefore, simultaneous translation into Polish is available.
Aleksandry Przegalińskiej. Witam serdecznie na rozpoczęciu nowego roku akademickiego w Akademii Leona Kozmińskiego. To wyjątkowy moment, w którym technologia, a szczególnie sztuczna inteligencja, staje się integralną częścią edukacji. Dzięki współpracy w ramach Sojuszu Uniwersytetów Europejskich EU On Air mamy szansę włączyć najnowsze osiągnięcia AI do naszych programów, tworząc przestrzeń dla międzynarodowego dialogu i wymiany wiedzy. To ekscytujący czas, w którym edukacja i technologia razem wyznaczają nowe kierunki rozwoju. Dziękuję i życzę wszystkim owocnego roku. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as the avatar of Professor Aleksandra Przegalińska, I am delighted to welcome you to the start of a new academic year at Kozminski University. This is a pivotal moment when technology, particularly artificial intelligence, becomes an integral part of education. Through our collaboration within the European University Alliance, EU On Air, we have the opportunity to incorporate the latest AI advancements into our programs, fostering international dialogue and knowledge exchange. It's an exciting time where education and technology together are shaping new directions for growth. Thank you, and I wish you all a productive year ahead.
Hello, everyone. Dzień dobry Państwu. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, friends, students, I am truly delighted to be here with you today, and I'm speaking not only on behalf of myself, but also my partner in crime, Professor Izabela Grabowska, amazing scientist and the master writer of our application, the application of European University Alliance, EU On Air, that you have heard about already a couple of times today. So Izabela, with your permission, I'm going to speak today on behalf of both of us. You have just heard my avatar. As you can see, it's quite astonishing, the resemblance, I think. And in many ways, such an avatar is an exemplification of what artificial intelligence can already do today. With my team here at Kozminski University, the human race team, we've been researching AI for the past 12 years, mostly focusing on human-machine interaction. And clearly, you know, the past 2 years have been quite astonishing when it comes to AI. We've been witnessing this great revolution of generative artificial intelligence that I hope will turn into an evolution, because we don't need turbulence all the time. We need adaptation, and we also need stability. So let's have a look back, because AI has been with us for quite a while. I'm sure many of you know it already. It's a technology that's been developed for 8 or 9 decades already and has experienced periods of growth and great interest, but also periods of lack of interest, where it was perceived as a technology that overpromises but under-delivers, as a technology that in fact is failing. And the 70s and 80s of the previous century, the so-called AI winters, have been exactly those periods where AI was not moving far ahead, even though, as you can see, prior to that period, there was a lot going on in AI. But then things have changed, as they usually do. What we saw after those periods of winter was actually, again, a rise of artificial intelligence. Already in the 90s, and that obviously collided with the revolution of the internet, we saw interesting progress in artificial intelligence, such as expert systems. And then further on, particularly in 2010, we saw a new paradigm, the so-called deep learning paradigm, where we have developed, as a scientific community broadly, algorithms that are, for instance, very good at recognizing images, very good at making predictions, but also all types of optimizations. And we see quite interesting endeavors happening since that period, but also great interest of business and organizations when it comes to trying to figure out and navigate how artificial intelligence could serve them. And here we are right now, for the past 2 years, generative AI, a yet new paradigm in artificial intelligence, with systems, new types of algorithms that can generate text, generate code, video, images, and plenty of other things for us. This is very, very new. And in many ways, this is something that all of us still have to learn how to navigate, particularly the sector of higher education. So AI is obviously, as we know, quite broad, but generative AI has had quite an impact. Universities that have always served as beacons of light and knowledge and progress, in many ways found themselves trying to navigate the completely new landscape that generative artificial intelligence has opened for them. And while it offers many opportunities, there are also plenty of challenges ahead, and the change is very, very rapid. That is why I think our approach to this technology has to be precise. We need precision. So this example of my avatar, I don't really see a situation where this avatar replaces me in my interactions with you, students that are sitting here. That should not be the case. It should serve as a supplement to what we do together. And in fact, we have exercised that, because last semester I've decided to build this avatar as a knowledge hub for my students, which they could question when they were preparing themselves for the exam, final exam with me. And in that capacity, this avatar, I think, did quite a good job. Now, I think what we are also seeing is more than just avatars and more than just text generators. Artificial intelligence in general and generative AI in particular are very, very broad. We have plenty of models, right? Last year, we were quite dominated by one of them, ChatGPT. Currently, there's way more happening, and it's really accelerating at such a speedy pace. We have multi-models, models that can generate images, as I said, so diffusion models, models that generate video, sound, plethora of different solutions, right? And among them, we also have a plurality of language models, and this is actually very important. As much as most of us are using models that are based on English language and they were trained in English, we see here and there very interesting endeavors of models being developed in French, in German, also in Polish. And that brings us, I think, to a very interesting question. Where is the place of Europe in terms of artificial intelligence, and where is the place of European higher educational institutions when it comes to this great revolution of generative AI? We know already that Europe is establishing frameworks, all different types of frameworks for AI, legal frameworks, regulations. But we also need this other component, which is innovation and perspective. And I think this is something I will try to also address later on. In general, when it comes to role of generative artificial intelligence in higher educational sector, what we can certainly say is that this technology offers plenty of opportunities. My avatar is just one of the examples, but there are plenty of others, right? When you think about effective time management for the educator, taking away some of the burdens of teaching, grading, also personalizing the educational offer for the student, and certain enhancement of the teaching process. I believe that avatar of mine could serve an example here, and we can find many, many others. So that's one thing. But the other, in fact, is this big challenge that we see ahead. Most of us, when we think about challenges related to generative artificial intelligence, we quite often think about deepfakes, and that is a very accurate type of challenge that this technology presents in front of our eyes, but there are also plenty of others specific to the educational sector. What are they? We can think about a couple. The first one is certainly ethics. Everything that deals with ethics, everything that pertains to problems of ethical usage of this technology, what's permitted, what is not. How do we verify knowledge today? How do we make sure that these models are unbiased, that they are not discriminating against anyone? How do we take care of privacy of our data, the data of our students, of our staff, and our greater community? And how do we make sure that we don't step into the realm of over-reliance on this technology? How do we make sure that we keep the balance of being a real educational institution that offers human-human relations and fosters them in the academic capacity, but also an institution that really harnesses the power of artificial intelligence and avoids excessive automation? These are all questions that Isabella and myself have asked ourselves together with our partners. They have been mentioned here already, but I'm just going to say once again that we are so grateful for them being here with us. We have a broad community of amazing higher educational institutions from all over Europe that have joined us in this project. We're going to run it together. Among them, we have Polish-Japanese Academy of Information Technologies, also from Poland. We have HTW Berlin. We have Heilbronn, Hochschule Heilbronn, which is our important partner also because there is a very big AI center being built there right now. We have Piraeus University from Greece. We have ESCA from France. We have SUPSI ITSIA from Lugano, Switzerland. We have Luxembourg School of Business, ZSEM from Croatia, ISM, Lithuania, and also CEU Abad Oliba of Spain, of Barcelona. So we are quite a big bunch, as you can see. I hope I have not omitted anyone. I will just add that we also are very happy that we have our Ukrainian colleagues with us from Kiev and Lviv in the capacity of associate partners. So what is our answer? Right? We are still figuring it out, but we are certainly trying our best to find this perspective of precision in terms of using artificial intelligence in the educational sector. We want to avoid being radical. We don't want to say no to this technology, but we want to be very precise in figuring out the best ways of using it. So our response indeed is EU on Air, which in fact stands for European University on AI in Curricula, Smart University, and Return Mobility. That is the full name of this acronym, which is our project that we are starting very, very soon in the coming months and which will last around 4 years, if not longer, likely very much longer, because we believe this is just the start of our journey. So what is really EU on Air, European University Alliance? It's plenty of different things. I'm not going to go over all the work packages because I think we are running out of time, but I'm just going to mention a couple of them. So as you can see, here is an overview. We have work package 1, which is all about managing, delivering on time and in high quality what we have promised to deliver. Work package 2 is very interesting. Here we're talking about education for student, staff, and community, which aims to identify existing courses and programs in AI within our universities and globally benchmark them. On top of that, we want to develop prototype AI programs and comprehensive list of universal elective for all levels of education. So students, something certainly for you, a very interesting offer that will teach you about AI, but also how to use AI as your method. Then we have work package 3, which is inclusive governance and collaboration. Here we want to make sure that we develop and implement EU on Air governance framework that fosters transparent decision-making. We really want this project to become a benchmark of using AI in higher education for all of Europe and beyond. We have work package 4, responsible AI in open research and innovation. Here we want to tackle the role of AI in research specifically. Some of the partners are going to be very much invested in that part. And our values here are human-centered AI and that focus or perspective of human AI interaction and not AI doing something instead of us or replacing us, but really supplementing and complementing our perspective. Work package 5. AI-assisted holistic mobility. I don't think this is something that anybody has tried or tested before. Here we're trying to design, set up, and make operationally effective structures to stimulate mobility. And mobility we understand very broadly. It can be about virtual mobility. It can be about blended mobility, physical mobility. Your mobility can also happen through an avatar. It can happen also while attending a real summer school with other people. We want to experiment with different formats here. Work package 6, My AI Campus. This will be our virtual campus serving all of us universities and all of our partners, which will be embedded in a synthetic European city. We'll try to show you a sneak peek in a second. Then work package 7, smart and green universities. I'm so happy that the city of Warsaw is with us today because we have a couple of partners that are local partners, that are city partners, and we want to bring this work package particularly to them and integrate local knowledge-creating communities in our partner cities to strengthen cross-border collaboration, again, using artificial intelligence. So, in fact, as you can see, the project is extremely ambitious. We have plenty of stakeholders here, the first one being our students, almost 100,000 students. On top of that, many nonprofits, cities, as I said prior, and plenty of other stakeholders that will be interested in what we are doing here, maybe for even benchmarking purposes. We are trying to establish at least a couple of very interesting, long-lasting units here. One is all about locality, as I said, smart and green university labs. Here we want to tackle how much does it cost to use artificial intelligence? Is it energy effective? And how does that translate to local development? We're talking also about the My AI Campus, as I said, that will be a home to our hybrid holistic mobility support center, which is a structure that Professor Izabela Grabowska will be leading. And finally, as I said, we want to set up a framework for everyone else, not only for ourselves, obviously collaboratively and in a manner of dialogue, where we can say something meaningful about the future of artificial intelligence in higher educational sector, how to use this technology best, and therefore we're establishing a center of excellence in responsible AI in education. So that's our plan. As you can see, it's quite ambitious, and as I promised, a couple of words also about our virtual campus. Here we have a couple of important inspirations. We want to build something that can be immersive, something that the students will like, something that will perhaps resemble a game a bit, not only students, but also our staff. And therefore, this campus will be really a vital element of our initiative. It's going to be AI supported. You will meet your instructors there, but also different types of specialized agents and assistants designed to facilitate the educational process and access to education, and also eliminate various geographical barriers that we have been seeing so far. So this is just the beginning of our journey. I hope you will like what you will see, and we're also very open to establishing broader dialogue with many of you about how to lead this initiative forward. So without any further ado, I'm going to show you a sneak peek of our early prototype of the virtual campus.
Today we embark on a journey to discover how the European University Alliance U on Air is integrating generative AI into our educational systems. Inicjatywa ta ma na celu stworzenie inteligentniejszych i bardziej dostosowanych środowisk uczenia się, które odpowiadają na potrzeby współczesnych studentów. Durch die Nutzung von generativen KI streben wir danach, den Lehr- und Lernprozess zu personalisieren und zu optimieren. Technologie la manière dont les cours sont conçus, dispensés et évalués. L'aliança fomenta la col·laboració transfronterera entre universitats per compartir coneixements i recursos en IA. Mūsų tikslas – sudaryti galimybes mokytojams ir mokiniams iš visos Europos naudotis pažangiausiamis technologijomis. Leona ir također podupire razvoj etičkih smjernica za upotrebu AI u akademskim postavkama. Τελικά, αυτή η πρωτοβουλία θα οδηγήσει στη δημιουργία ενός πιο δίκαιου, προσβάσιμου και ευρωπαϊκού εκπαιδευτικού πεδίου.
So I have forgot about multilingualism, but the avatar didn't. Thank you so much.
Pani profesor, dziękujemy bardzo. A raczej powinienem podziękować
Madam Professor, actually two professors, this inauguration is accompanied by the presence of the choir that includes our graduates and students of the musical university, of the Chopin Musical University, and let's hear from the choir as the last part of this ceremony.
I'm only human. I'm only human. Maybe I'm foolish, maybe I'm blind. I can see through this and see what's behind. There's no way to prove it, so maybe I'm lying. But I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put your blame on me. Don't put your blame on me. Look in the mirror and what do you see? Do you see it clearer or are you deceived in what you believe? 'Cause I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put your blame on me. Don't put your blame on me. Ooh, some people got the rhythm. Ooh, some people hold on. Ooh, some people think that it's so cool. Lord, give it to
Magnificencja.
Magnificence. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me close the inauguration ceremony of the academic year 2025. Thank you for being with us. Please all rise and feel free to join us for refreshments outside this room. And please let the procession with our flag leave this hall. Thank you.
Dziękujemy i zapraszamy na poczęstunek.
Doceń moje obecność.